My name is Josh Zaslow, and I am NACCE's AmeriCorps Maker Fellow for the 21-22 season. As a Maker Fellow, I help expand NACCE's capacity for maker-centered learning activities. When I'm not at NACCE, I spend a lot of time playing music. When NACCE asked me what I wanted to focus on this year, I said, how about music and making?
I've always felt it was really important that when teaching, the more connection you can make for students between and across content areas, the more the learning kind of sticks and the more they understand what you're trying to get across to them.
This is Shauna Longo. She's a music teacher and arts integration specialist in Hopatcong, New Jersey. She's also a co-author of Integrating STEM with Music, a great book that's available online. Shauna is one of 10 different people or groups of people I interviewed to learn more about music and making. You'll be hearing from others throughout this video. In 2012, archaeologists in a German cave discovered some of the oldest examples of technology in existence: flutes made from woolly mammoth and bird bones. 40,000 years after those instruments first appeared, humans have continued, if not increased, our pace of innovation. Maker programs, with their use of myriad tools and approaches to learning, have become centers of everyday invention in the fields of STEAM and education. Project-based learning promotes creativity, connection, and most importantly, agency in its participants. But like the scientists who discovered those early woodwinds, hands-on education must continue to find new signs of life in order to remain current. One major mode of tactile creation, at least as old as an ancient aerophone, remains largely undiscovered by today's community fabrication labs.
It's an interesting combination of science and art. And art to me has to have a science to it.
Studies such as these by Nation of Makers and Maker Ed show that many basic tools of music making are lacking from makerspaces. But why does this gap exist? And why does it matter?
From the standpoint of the kind of musician I have been, this idea of music technology, using technology, music as a separate field, just is non-existent.
Up until the 17th century, in the West at least, science, math, and music combined forces to explain the natural world. The concept of musica universalis explained planetary motion, and theories of sound joined with arithmetic, geometry, and astronomy in the quadrivium, a group of studies second in importance only to the trivium of grammar, logic, and rhetoric. But in the 1600s, new observations of celestial bodies prompted thinkers to question their previously held assumptions, and music began to move more into the realm of subjectivity and culture. Today, music lies more in arts and entertainment than science and technology, but we should not forget its former place of importance in the history of scientific thought. Music can still serve vital functions within the worlds of observations and hypotheses, beta testing, and prototyping.
There are skills that they've developed and spaces that they built that they remain connected to. And I think that other adults have found sanctuary and collaboration and community through our events as well.
To better understand exactly why music needs to show up more in making, let's look at some of the reasons it exists in the first place. Many peer-reviewed studies have shown that music can lower blood pressure, counteract anxiety, and reduce pain, as well as improve mood, alertness, memory, and sleep. Besides those great physical and mental benefits, some posit that music's greatest asset lies in its ability to bring people together.
The community is just as important as all this stuff, this equipment that we have in this box of the building. It's like, you want answers, the best way to get them is not to come here and work on the table saw. It's to reach out to your fellow makers here in the space and who will be happy to volunteer information.
Research has shown that listening to and creating music together can quickly bond diverse groups of people. Groups who listen to music together tend to stay together longer, and people who engage in regular group music making develop greater empathy for each other. Music's high degree of cultural relevance, when used appropriately in conjunction with other accessibility measures, can attract diverse populations to making and help them feel the sense of belonging that will fuel their success. Now that we've discussed some of the major reasons people create music, we'll look at just how makerspaces can tap into music's power. Let's start with one of the simplest ways to incorporate music into making, by playing it on a speaker. Upbeat music can create a sense of joy, flow, and motivation in a makerspace, while slower music can create an atmosphere of peace, contemplation, and rest. Intermediate Unit 1 in Pennsylvania utilized music's calming properties in a series of instrument building sessions that included mindfulness activities. There, students listened to soothing pre-recorded music with the goal of completing their projects with calm focus and attention to completion. This particular set of lessons became both teacher and students' favorite that year.
Can an object that is made, right, in and of itself kind of like present an argument or like a viewpoint of the world? And like, what about the processes that like contribute to the making of objects, of things?
The next and possibly most prevalent way of incorporating music into making in the present day is through instrument fabrication. Whether making a maraca from 2 paper plates and some dried beans, or sonifying biofeedback from a tree, this approach uses not just the common tools of making, such as glue, hammer, and 3D printer, but also the methodologies of ideation, design, and prototyping. Harkening back to earlier days of Western science, instructors can make ample connections to physics, acoustics, and mathematics. To bring things more up to date, we can also tie instrument making into subjects such as history, languages, psychology, and sociology using creative lesson plans. Making instruments allows students to express their unique identities and viewpoints as well.
Our college and our district are very concerned in particular with the success and retention of African American students. And our college does not have a very large population of those students. But the studio became really a rallying point for, in particular, young African American male students who could come in and record music and stuff. So it was one of the few centers on campus that was really seemed to be a place that those students could gather and feel comfortable and do their thing, right? And thereby feel connected to the college.
Fabrication leads us to perhaps the next most commonly seen marriage of making and music, the digital studio. There, users can create and arrange virtually any recorded sound in any order they wish using software known as a digital audio workstation, or DAW. Examples of these programs include Audacity, BandLab, Fruity Loops, and Soundtrap. This software not only gives users access to the sounds that make up contemporary pop, hip-hop, and electronic music, it allows them to create meaningful facsimiles of most other kinds of music as well, all while learning important computing, project management, and aesthetic skills. Students also acquire agency when they replicate and improve upon the sounds of their favorite musical artists.
It was actually the music stuff that led to making, even though there's a lot of DIY stuff in neuroscience as well.
A final way that music can participate in making appears less often, but may provide the greatest benefits: real-time music making. Singers and instrumentalists of all levels can use either mass-produced, made on-site, or a combination of both kinds of instruments. This mode combines the physical benefits of listening to music, the agency of creating it, and the social-emotional benefits of making it cooperatively, if participants choose to do so. At its most spontaneous level, musicians can freely improvise together or separately. Those seeking something more structured can read from a score or follow other sets of instructions. Many ways exist to produce music, but some skills common to all of them include listening, courtesy, and respect.
Sticker makers, we have t-shirt makers, we have embroidery machines, people embroidering their designs on hats, laser cutters, so business cards, people want to make business cards. Yeah, you name it. If they have an idea or don't have an idea, we can prototype something, we can work something. And yeah, students found ways to empower themselves through the technology.
One may wonder how this music making mode differs from what goes on in music classes at school. First, many students' schools may not offer music classes. Even when the school does offer music, a makerspace music experience can offer participants more autonomy than they would experience in the typical chorus, orchestra, or band class. Additionally, those who do not wish to play music can work on the production, business, and merchandising aspects, including audio engineering, web design, zines, photography, album art, distribution deals, record labels, performance schedules, t-shirts, guitar picks, backpacks, and any number of other items. In this way, music can engage students in a full range of entrepreneurial skills. Music and making go back a long way. Their shared history provides fertile ground for continued collaboration. Music can improve mental, physical, and social health, increase cultural relevance, and interact with a wide range of subject areas, budgets, and spaces within making. I hope you consider making some of the ideas in this guide a bigger part of your Maker program, and contact me at maker@nacce.com if you have any questions or comments on music and making.